It's a funny thing to say, but mixed martial arts aren't mixed martial arts at all. Really, they're mixed martial sports. MMA is all the rage. MMA fighters are certainly tough, skillful, aggressive fighters, but they are not martial artists. To understand why this is, we need to clarify what martial arts and martial sports are. Actually, there are three separate branches to consider: martial techniques, martial arts, and martial sports. Martial techniques are the methods used to train an army for combat on the battlefield. In ancient times, this included how to march and maneuver on the battlefield, techniques for fighting with weapons in mass formations, and discipline to follow orders immediately without thought for personal safety. Unarmed combat was often used only to build courage in new recruits. Today, martial techniques focus on using modern weaponry, like assault rifles, grenade launchers, anti-tank missiles, mortars, artillery, and tanks. Focus is placed on small unit tactics and maneuvering with vehicles. Discipline and following orders are also critical, but because small unit tactics and open formations are used, individual initiative and intelligence are also important and part of training. Again, unarmed combat was not emphasized. Martial arts also prepares one for deadly combat. Techniques are designed to end fights quickly, often within seconds, not to last for several rounds. Martial arts focus on developing character, leadership, and your spiritual nature. Longevity is important and not sacrificed for short-term gains in power, like in martial tactics. Martial arts also contain movements and exercises designed to be therapeutic and help to recover from injuries and illnesses. This is important because injuries are part of the lifestyle, and if you can't heal them, your career is over. For most martial arts, the development of character is as important as the development of deadly combat skills. Many traditional masters think teaching people how to kill, but not how to be positive members of society, is the same as training thugs or arming criminals. Finally, there are martial sports. They focus on preparing someone for a specific event with specific rules. Winning the event is the primary focus, and training is very specific to each sport and each event. Character development and spiritual cultivation often plays a very small part, or even no part at all, in the training. In general, first there were martial techniques or tactics. Then these evolved into martial arts and finally into martial sports. A good example of this can be found in the history of Jiu-Jitsu. Ju means to avoid, gentle, or yield, and Jitsu means techniques. Jiu-Jitsu began as the unarmed combat methods of the samurai, which focused on joint locking and throwing techniques that would work against an armed and armored opponent when you are unarmed. With the evolution of modern weapons and the elimination of the samurai class, Jiu-Jitsu became less relevant and evolved into Judo. Do refers to the Tao, or way of spiritual cultivation and harmony, from the Chinese religion of Taoism. Judo training became somewhat more ritualized, emphasizing etiquette and personal cultivation. Later, it evolved into the modern sport of throwing and grappling. This evolution meant eliminating the most dangerous throws and techniques and focusing on events with rules designed for safety. Other examples of martial sports are boxing, kickboxing, fencing, and sport taekwondo. In all of these martial sports, the deadly techniques have been modified to protect the safety of the athletes. Even safety equipment is added to protect the athletes and allow the competitions to last long enough to be entertaining to spectators. So MMA should really be called MMS, for mixed martial sports, because it combines kickboxing, boxing, and judo or wrestling. Whether you practice martial arts or martial sports, we all share the same passion for the warrior path, the intensity of training, and the intense personal challenge. For Fight Life TV, this is Sifu Scott Jensen.